It was the same Saxon who was at the feast, wasn't it?
No, different Saxons.
No, these are
Saxon?
new Saxons that have landed in the
All right.
south rather than the king
I thought the
of
name
Essex.
sounded similar.
Okay, sorry. I actually have to get a picture for this guy. Boom. There we go. You eventually come upon some Saxons carrying the flag of truce. They approach you on horseback, which is rare for Saxons, and say, "Ho there! We are Saxons of King Cedric. Who are you to pass through our lands?"
We are knights
of Silchester.
of Salisbury.
Wait, did you actually say Silchester?
Silchester.
Are we really almost say Silchester?
I want to be clear.
No,
You
it's Silchester. Salisbury is what I meant.
okay, all right.
We're Knights of Salisbury under Countess Ellen's jurisdiction, coming down to investigate the recent sacking of the city of Anton.
Yes.
Was it?
We wish to know what is the purpose of your flag of parley.
So he says, "Our king has had a vision. He claims that Knights of Salisbury would pass through this area in the coming days. He says he wishes to speak with any Knights of Salisbury empowered to talk of peace with him." One of the
I'm willing to
other
listen.
men steps forward and says, "Our king has a powerful vision. He sees things in his dreams."
Well, we are Knights of Salisbury.
We will happily listen to your king. However, I must warn you that we are not empowered to make the decisions. We must simply inform our liege and then carry her wishes back.
Understood. Would you like us to arrange for a hostage to be sent to Salisbury while we take you on
No.
to Anton?
I will have no such thing.
What?
Marcus is about to speak, but he
Should
defers
your
to-
liege and be willing to swear upon his honor that he will let us go at the end of the parley, we will accept his word.
Udweld, I'm happy to see that you finally agree that Saxons are capable of honor.
Again, Marcus is about to say
We're all
something.
going to
but
be
then he shuts
captured
up.
because of you. I'm blaming you when we get captured.
Yeah,
Okay, so
cool.
you
And
choose.
you don't have to
not-
follow along, right? Like, you can go back and report the situation.
You guys choose not to send a hostage back. So they're offering to send one of the people in their band to Salisbury to act as a hostage, but you've chosen not to have that happen. They escort
Sasha
you.
chose not to have that happen.
Robert just shakes his head like they're just being unwise. He doesn't trust Saxons.
Yeah,
It'd be... I mean, taking a hostage is so...
It's normal, man, at this time. And Robert actually, Marcus will say that he will just offer counsel to Sasha since he's a senior knight. Says perhaps it would be wise. We've only just fought a war against the Saxons. No harm will come from keeping a Saxon hostage.
So while you say that, they pull out a sealed letter, and they hand it to you to read. Can you read Latin?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that Sir Marcus can.
Yes,
Can you roll for your read Latin?
sure. I don't have a great skill at it, but
Okay. Yeah, it's written very fancily.
there we go. Read.
And then can you make an intrigue roll? Anyone who views this document.
Views it at all.
Yeah, why don't you
All right.
check mark that skill, Marcus, to learn? Because you just fucking critted the motherfuck out of it.
All right, let's get
Oh,
it.
did I? Shit, I couldn't
Yeah,
see
and
those.
you just critted your intrigue roll as well.
Yeah.
Alright, so anyone that succeeds on their intrigue gets a check. So here's what you learn. This letter is written in the British style rather than in any Saxon dialect or even Saxon script. It claims that the bearers are not adversaries, emissaries from the lands of Goesi, that their lord is the rightful king of Goesi, and that he himself is British, and that King Cedric wishes to speak to his neighbors about peace, that as a British Saxon, he guarantees the hospitality of any who come to listen to him. Anyone who succeeds knows that Gawesi were one of the older tribes who lived in Gloucester and Hampshire. And Marcus, you specifically know that a cruel king known as Vortigern was the last leader of the Gawesi.
All right.
So what does it say, Marcus?
Marcus is currently suffering difficulties.
Yeah, he's suffering technical difficulties.
Can we just say he tells us that?
Yeah.
He might not. Whoa. He might not tell you that. I have a question. Does anyone remember who Vortigern was?
Yep.
Why don't you tell the class?
So, if I recall my English lore correctly, there was the... So we had the first... So, Romans are pulling out... I think Vortigern was a... I think he was a British Saxon who took almost like a... Not quite a Pendragon role, but kind of... Before the other Pendragons took over, he invited in some Saxon tribes as mercenaries to fight off the barbarians, and then they turned on him. Am I getting this right?
Not quite. But he was the bad evil king.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about him, you can read your Salisbury family history in the Pendragon core rulebook, because your grandfather fought Vortigern.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we're going to try to get Anosh back in here.
So he can or cannot tell us.
He super knows what that letter is all about, though.
Yeah, he knows the fuck out of that letter. I'd just like to remind you that tonight's episode is sponsored by Sir Chester. Chester the cheetah. He's dangerously cheesy.
Sorry, yeah. What did Marcus learn? I get disconnected just as you said that.
Of course! I will reread the entire thing. The letter claims that it is sent by a British Saxon from the lands of the Gawesi. Their lord is the rightful king of Gawesi, and he wishes to explain himself. King Serdric, a British Saxon, wishes to speak peace with his neighbors and guarantees hospitality to any who claim to listen to him. With your intrigue skill, you learn that the Gawesi are one of the old tribes who lived in Gloucester, Hampshire. And with your critical, you yourself, Sir Marcus, learn that Vortigern was their last leader, and that Vortigern was an evil king that your grandfathers fought. Now you're all caught up.
Okay. All right. So there's a British Christian king, though, right? There in Gawesi or whatever.
He is not British Christian. He is British Saxon.
Oh,
So
okay.
pagan.
British Saxon.
Well, I mean, they're
Saxons are not pagans. Saxons have their own Wodanic religion.
yeah.
Fun? Okay, I guess. Yeah, fair enough.
So at this point, basically assume that Saxons are a lot like Norsemen and Vikings. They follow a guy called Woden, who is a one-eyed raven king who gave up his eye to see the light of the world and gain the knowledge of runes. Sound familiar?
Now, what does it say, Marcus?
So Marcus tells them the whole thing. He reads it out to them, like he translates it as he reads it, so they hear everything.
Excellent, Marcus. Why don't you give yourself in a check against whatever the opposite of deceitful is?
Honest.
Yeah, give yourself a check in honest, because this is like the one moment where if you wanted to be deceitful, you can be like, yeah, this letter is bullshit.
I mean, I could, but that's a proper Christian, to be honest.
The ride is uneventful, the land does not seem devastated, but the peasants seem to hide from you as you approach. When you get to the city Hanton, It shows sign of plunder, but that is normal for such a situation. The castle is occupied by a Saxon lord, and you are welcomed into the Great Hall as long as you leave your weapon and armor behind, as is traditional.
I will do so.
Sasha does so. Sasha
Not going to do us any good even if we have it.
Marcus will begrudgingly part with his weaponry, though he's lived most of his life without weapons in that way. So he's trained with them, but he's never in his religious service. He's not always needed them, so he's fine.
Okay. All right. So King Sergic of the Goesi is a handsome man, mannered in the British way, but speaks with a Saxon accent. King Sergic welcomes everyone and spreads a lavish feast before you. Judging from the service and food available, the people of Hanton have already been accustomed to their new lord. After dinner, Sergic makes his presentation, welcoming the four of you, and expressing hope that you can continue to be friends and peaceful neighbors. For that is the way to be among fellow Britons. Yeah, fellow Britons! For I am one of you more than I am Saxon, as measured in the civilized way of where all importance comes from my father's side. My father was the British. Measuring the civilized manner further, we know that nobility is superior to normal humanity. I could not come from more noble stock, for my father was the High King of Britain. Indeed, my father was King Vortigern, the noble lord who ruled this island before the Pendragons. And indeed, though it counts less, my mother's own father was a king as well. I have many powerful connections among the Saxons. They are not as savage as they would have you believe. In my future kingdoms they will be my subjects, just as the British shall be. And both shall be equal, if I do not have to conquer. So I offer you to join me in my army, for surely there will be battles in the future. And I am sure that you wish to be on the winning side. I would be happy to have you accept your homage and loyalty to me, and I would treat you well and justly. Will you join me, knights? And he briefly looks into each of your eyes and gives you a handshake and says, Please discuss this among yourselves. I should note, the Saxons to the north, especially the King of Essex, are very upset at you, particularly you, Sir Marcus. Yes, they have put out a guild on you.
Wait, what's that?
Any man who should kill you and presents the evidence will be given the head of 25 cattle. You are a very wanted man. You seem to have insulted the Prince Eskvan.
So,
Marcus smirks a little bit at that. Though he's also a little worried, which he tries not to show.
So, Adwald will say, You make a compelling case, my lord. However, I and my fellow knights are unable to make any commitments. All of your...
Oh, yeah,
but we will...
I know how it goes with the British. Anyway, I have a number of British knights serving me. Why don't they gamble and speak with you through the night? Maybe tomorrow you go falconing and you report back to whoever your liege lord is in Salisbury now. Swaderick, right?
Unfortunately, Earl Roderick died at the infamous feast.
Yeah.
His wife, Countess Ellen, rules now.
He says, oh, yeah, Countess Ellen, how is she doing? I have heard of her beauty from far away.
She is a fine leader, but all this trouble has hit her hard.
Alright, fair. You seem to be good men, so I tell you what. You know, maybe you go to the Countess Ellen, you tell her how handsome I am, and we can discuss not just homage, but perhaps a closer alliance, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I appreciate that you did not kill my Saxons when you came upon them in the field, and so you know what? You are welcome back in my city of Anton for Yule Fest, or any time you want over the next year. Come and visit me anytime. I welcome you into my horse. How is it they say? This is a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you, my lord.
So, speak among yourselves, perhaps talk to some of my British knights, and then you report back to your Countessa. And with that, he leaves and he starts getting in fights with some of his Saxons. Like, they make a circle and start doing bear wrestling with each other, just slamming into each other, rah!
Pretty intense.
Yeah. All right.
I'm fine with the alliance idea, but not with owing my loyalty to him.
So
He
I
came
think
off kind
we
of
should.
strong.
If Ellen married him, you would owe your loyalty to him, because you owe your loyalty to her.
Well, I think this is a decision for her to make, and I will convey accurately what he says, despite my personal distaste for the man.
I mean, so he conquered this area. I don't know. What happened? So he killed the previous people that were ruling there that didn't agree with joining him, or
He killed many of the defenders here, but to be clear, there weren't that many in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we will speak with those who remain. Maybe an intrigue roll to get a better sense of what happened.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on their point of view.
Okay, Aidwald, Sasha, you speak with a man called Hamish. He says, "Aye, the name's Sir Hamish. I am a knight of Hanton, as my father was. Although we were unjustly removed from this land, and good King Vortigern died, and the Pendragons forced us out, but I don't hold that against the British of this time. I have been with my lord, fighting the Franks and Danes on the continent. He is a good man, and while he may not be Christian, he is wise for a Saxon. And British blood does flow through his veins indeed. Now, is there anything else you'd like to ask me, or shall we perhaps dice, gentlemen?"
I shall pass on the dice. Do you have anything, Sir Sasha?
So you came with the king.
Oh, yes. I've been with the king for some time.
No dice. Thank you for the offer. I would like to try and find someone who's living here, who was here before the raid.
Okay, yeah, you could just go to the kitchen or something.
To try and get their point of view on it.
Yeah, see how he is treating the newly conquered British.
Yeah, so you find a master chef in there. And he's like, "The name's Blot, young boy. Are you 40?
Nearing that yet.
So this guy is ancient. He's got to be at least 60 years old. He's walking hunched over, stirring a giant stew pot. He's like, "So, what is it you want to know?"
Simply, how the whole conquering went, how it fared for you.
Oh,
And
well,
how it is now.
went pretty quickly, actually, After they killed all the knights, most of the levies broke instantly. All the peasants ran away. And now they've all pledged themselves to the Saxons rather quickly. Cedric's got an easy hand. In fact, I'd say life's better in the castle with him than it ever was with the other lords. Gotta be honest, though. The taste in food is unusual. Lots of meats and stews. Not enough biscuits and tarts. And they're always filthing things up. My wife is, head of the household here, as it were, and they're always putting their muddy boots on everything. No respect for our furniture. Stir in a stew pot.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, I think we
Does he
found
say
what
that?
we...
So he like gets out like a kielbasa, and he's like, "You sure you don't want any of this foreign meat? They brought it over dried. It's good stuff. A little bit spicy for my taste, but you'll probably not see its like for some time if you return back to Salisbury."
Take a bite.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Tastes a lot like stewed kielbasa.
All right. Well, I think we will go pay our respects to the king and then head back to report to Countess Ellen.
Okay. You walk up to the king and you press F.
I press A. I use the Xbox controller.
Oh, okay, fine. You press F.
I pressed the E key.
Press the enter button,
Eh,
the space button, everything but
sometimes
F.
space button. Sometimes space button.
All right. So I guess we just start riding home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what is everybody else's views on this man?
Pretty cool guy.
He's a crude man, but it seems as if whatever cruelty his grandfather had is not accrued to him. The folks of his town seem to enjoy a light rule. If
Sir
we
Marcus.
are choosing between evils, he seems the lighter of many that we have seen.
I'm particularly curious on Sir Marcus's opinion.
To Marcus's view on.
Say what?
So you said something about Sir Marcus's. This one.
Yeah, I'm interested on
Marcus's
Sir
view.
Marcus's opinion on the potential alliance, or furthermore, marriage.
Is this guy a Saxon or a pagan? He's allied with the Saxons.
He's
He's
Saxon.
a Saxon Wotonic, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, no, Marcus is completely against it. He says the man does not. He's completely against it. He just says no. We should not ally ourselves with Saxons.
He is not
We must
Christian.
strengthen our own faith. He's pro-Christian on this. He says the man. He's honest. He says the man conducted himself better than we would
I
have
love how
expected.
Sir
but that
Marcus is the
perhaps
first lobbyist in history now.
1 second.
Marcus is the
Ben-
first one in history.
First lobbyist in history.
Yeah.
I think he's also going for the world record of most people offended.
Well, I expected that answer, but I figured I'd ask anyway.
I think Judas probably has him beat there, just saying.
So I guess we
Barely.
Return to Ellen.
return to Ellen and present the news.
Okay.
By the way, did you say that was Hanton or?
Yeah, Hanton.
Okay.
It's
I was looking at a
city.
map trying to figure out where everything is.
Okay.
So we seek audience.
Yeah. The Countess, you give her a factual report, and she asks you what your opinions are.
The man, he was peculiar. He was quite full of himself, but he did not seem to have ill intentions, though the nations may have squabbled in the past, particularly, I think it was his father. I believe such an alliance is welcomed, but not necessarily a marriage unless you do indeed turn out to fancy the man, though he's quite crude.
A alliance may prove useful. The man does seem to be of better character than many of those who pen us in these days, but I do worry that a marital alliance will put the safety of young Robert in grave danger, as I suspect the man will
That's a good point,
not be
Oswald.
will be eager for a son of his own to take the throne and secure this land.
Those are wise words, sir. I won't.
Sir Corin, do you have anything to say on this subject?
I do not believe we should trust him. He is the heir of a very wicked man, and he's a Saxon. He cannot be trusted.
Of course. So, Sir Corin, you say no. So, Aidwald, you say yes to alliance, but no to marriage?
I believe so, yes.
Sir Marcus, your thoughts?
I say nay to both.
Sir Sasha?
I say yes to the alliance. And originally, my thoughts on the marriage were if you were to think of it as beneficial, but Odwald's point about Sir Robert's safety is very valid.
Young
Perhaps if you do seek the marriage to tie the nations a little bit more strongly, he must know quite clearly that Sir Robert is the next in line. Perhaps moving him elsewhere for his own safety. But again, marriage is only if you were to see it as beneficial. The alliance, though, I'm in favor of, yes.
Alright, everybody gains 15 glory. And Countess Ellen says, "It seems that we are at a deadlock, sirs. We do not have a final decision in either direction. My counselors are equally useless. We will revisit this next year." So, where would you guys like to go for Christmas? Of course, Salisbury's open to you, but you also have an open invitation from King Cerdric.
It might prove useful to
I want to go to
get a better sense of the man if we are contemplating him as our possible liege.
I kind of wanted to go to Hentonia. I mean, I don't want him to be a liege, but I want the alliance.
Yes. It's better to have a... It would be good to have a better sense of the man. On the other hand, I know many of us seek to court a lady, and they will be here in Salisbury.
I'll take Lady Ella. I'd take Lady Ella and show him how Rittenford should be made. She's quite the industrious woman.
Yeah. So what are
Russell
your
actually.
thoughts?
Sorry. Marcus would want to stay here, and he would actually want to look for a gift for Iona.
Okay. Sir Corin, it sounds like you're the tiebreaker. Do you wish to go to Canton or stay in Salisbury?
Stay in Salisbury.
So I think we're going to need to split the party.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Aidwald will switch his vote.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, like you're about to leave on your journey and you're like, well, nope, staying. Okay. It is a very anxious winter. With the king dead, Countess Ellen says, chaos and anarchy rule supreme. All of the upper nobility dead. The Countess's heir is only 4 years old, and so I will presumably rule in his stead for the next 14 years. I need all knights to swear their support to me. With loyal knights, I can guard my son and back up the realm. I am the legitimate authority, but only with your cooperation, knights. Leaders are needed. Leaders like Sir Sasha. Leaders like the fallen knights Aurelius and Robert. Leaders like the great combatant Trompiert, who once slayed over 6 men in a half an hour.
I have seen Trumpet work. It is quite glorious, I guess.
Who should we ally with, knights? Shall we ally with King Lot, King Nantiliode, King Orcus, King Idris of Cornwall and Brittany? Are there any allies that we can call upon in the area? Anyone that you know or have contacts with?
Not Orcus.
not Orcus. Who were the other individuals?
King Lot, King Nantiliode, King Idres.
I have heard King Nantiliode is a honest and wise man. I suspect he would be one of our most reliable and honest ally, one that we can trust to not to stab us in the back in these difficult times.
Anyone else have thoughts on who to ally with?
Well, can you tell us about King Lot?
What do you know about King Lot?
I can't find my notes.
He's bad news.
Oh, he's bad news? Okay. Then yeah, I agree with King Nantiliode.
Okay.
With the assessment of Nantiliode.
King Nantiliode.
The Countess
still
says
believe-
that she will look into an alliance with King Nantiliode.
And I still believe, though he is quite cocky and full of himself, he does seem an honest man worthy of an alliance. The new Saxon to the south.
King Cerdric, yes, you said so much. As you were at the feast, there is gossip from all about the realm. The king of Lothian has a new son. The Irish are warring in gales, with thousands of them swarming over the land like rats. They're so successful that some in Norgale have gone so far as to ask the North for help. In fact, they've been promised the help of 3 sons of the great war chief Cumnida, who is going to come south next year with an army. Finally, of great note, King Clovis of the Franks has taken the Christian faith. Incredible. Truly incredible. Alright, we're going to do manor rolls next time and all that good stuff. But while you are at Yule Feast, all of Salisbury is raided by Saxons, and all of your manors are damaged in the process.
Oh, we don't have any opportunity to defend?
The whole of Aesquine's army just like sweeps over during the Yule harvest and just like completely dominates Salisbury.
Oh.
The whole army?
Yes.
No, it's not
His
party
whole it's like dozens and dozens of raiding parties. Each of your manors is basically like picked off one by much larger forces.
So what happens to them in terms of them?
Oh, you'll take a penalty. So yeah, you'll lose some money, basically.
Yeah.
Or your roll gets harder. We'll figure it out next time.
Uh-huh.
But any thoughts on how the Anarchy period's going so far?
That's certainly interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has 15 manors again?
Aidwald does.
Glorious.
You do?
Yep.
I thought you
How
only
does
got
it-
like 6 from it.
Damn.
He had a bunch already from
I had 7
being
already.
the inheritor of Sir
Oh,
Lycus.
jeez.
7! Shit. Okay.
What?
Nice.
Oh, man.
Wow. I think Robert just had 2. Like,
Sasha had 1. He's alright with it.
it's pretty cool, actually. I'm quite happy with the amount I have now, actually.
Well, I am very interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
And so far, Sasha hasn't seen enough to feel like resigning.
Not yet.
Oh, we're not doing it this time, are we?
We're still on Skype. Yeah, we're still stream live. So a couple of things to think about. There'll be solo scenarios for everybody who is courting, and there'll probably be a solo scenario for Anosh, where you'll be talking to Father Dewey, and basically I'm going to offer you a choice, and it's going to be either you can take a check to your spirituality and spend a lot of time buckling down on your studies with the Waterman, or you can spend your time contacting like-minded anti-pagans like yourself at the Abbey and convincing them to join your crusade to, like, wipe out the pagans. And in that case, you would take a check to intrigue, and you would advance the storyline down the kill all the pagans path.
Me. I'll kill all the pagans with you.
I'm definitely taking at least 2 pagans to my manors.
And we will raid your manors.
Okay, so, a final note. We do need to do the fantasy draft for who takes which people to their manors, but we will not have a game next week because I will be in the Poconos hosting a private 48-hour game fest for my family.
Well,
So no game next week. Sorry, guys.
All right.
That's still cool.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. Figure out what the F happens. All right. Have a good night, guys. Stream out.
Yeah.
See ya.